Alright, you boss, this is Some-Belgian-prepper, and today I'm going to talk about all the survival uses you can do with jeans, denim jeans pants. And the reason why we are at the shower today is for an experiment I want to do, but I will do this as the last part of this video. So keep watch for that. And before we start, if you're interested in detective stories, look for the link in the description. There will be a link to my first book called Bloody Crosses. It's in Dutch, and if you're interested, take a look. So, denim jeans. Are they useful for survival situations? First of all, we need to know what are jeans and why are they originally designed from? Well, the fabric denim started around the half of the 19th century as a canvas material for tents. But gold miners in America, they found out that it's a sturdy material and they started to making clothing out of denim. So they discovered that it was a very sturdy material, and there is actually a lot of things you can do with this kind of material, and also things that you can use in survival situations. It's a whole list, so I'm going to sometimes look at my card to see if I don't forget anything. I tested out a few of them, and let's start. Well, first of all, the thing that made me make this video was I saw some videos about how the Navy SEALs in Vietnam used denim jeans pants instead of their standard camouflage pants in the Vietnam War. And they explained that it was because it was sturdy material for such, and yeah, that they preferred it over their own standard issues pants. And it made me think, if Navy SEALs would use this instead of those, there must be other good things about it. So I've been doing some searching, and there are certain things you can do with this. First of all, thing that I like is, if you have anything like a denim jeans, you can make some kinder or tindle. How do you say this? Tinder to start a fire. So what you do is you take a knife and you rub across the material, but you do it like you are shaving something. And if you can see, now you got all this lint material, and this is very flammable. With a ferrous steel, you can just one spark, and it's like from a dryer, very flammable. So that's one thing that you can do in a survival situation, and it has to be dry pants, so that's something that you need to take into account. Talking about dry pants, I've been doing an experiment today, and I wanted to see how well do denim jeans dry when they are fully wet. And this could be very important for certain survival scenarios. So I discovered, I made my whole pants. I would have been doing a whole lot of editing, but yeah, that was too much work for me, and I have not that much time. So what I did was I poured on my left leg a lot of water, and then I took a walk in full sun. It was around 22-24 degrees Celsius, and it took 1 hour and 27 minutes till my leg was dry again. So it took a long time actually to dry. With my cargo pants, usually they are fully dried within 20 minutes, but it was still a little bit damp if you felt really good about it. So what we can learn from this is, if you're during hot situations like summer, or when there is heat or a heat wave or something, it's better to wear denim jeans, because if you soak your pants, or you sweat your pants and they get wet, that will pull body heat from your body and cool it away by the wind, and that is how your body regulate its temperature. So if you keep your pants wet, or they are getting wet from the sweat, it's onto your skin, pulls out the heat from out of your skin, and it will cool your body off like that. And that's very good, actually. But the downside is, during cold situations like in winter time, or when it's autumn, whenever it's cold, you don't want that, because denim sticks to your skin. It makes contact. So if there is wind blowing, it's also directly almost to your skin. That's a bad thing during cold situations. If you get cold from sweat, or you're on a bug out and you sweat or you get moist by dew, snow, mist, rain, whatever, it sticks to your skin, and that will also pull body heat from out of your body. But during a cold situation, you want to preserve your body heat. So that's a bad thing. So that's something that you don't want. And with cargo pants, there is a little bit baggy, so there's more space for insulation value. So that's something that you need to watch out for. So jeans, good for summer, bad for winter. Or you have to wear one of those rain pants to cover them up. But I would say I would prefer it for summer and not for winter. Right. Next thing, an improvised tourniquet. So if you have a jeans, you can perhaps cut off if somebody's wounded and they have an artery bleeding. You can take one of pants, or you can borrow pants from someone, or you can cut the pipe of your own leg. And what you can do is, for example, if you have a bleeding around here, take one of the pipes, cut it around, put the stick between it, and start to really tightening it up. And that way you can make an improvised tourniquet to stop bleedings or to put more pressure. Also for wounds, to put pressure, make several layers, roll them up, and put pressure onto the wounds that way. And that way you can help to stop bleedings, or as an improvised tourniquet. Another thing you can do is use jeans. If you have a spare, or you find some bad jeans on the side of the road, because some people just throw them away when they are too small, or they don't need them, or they are getting dirty, and you find a pair of jeans, what you can do is turn them into a carrier bag. So what you can do is, what I would do is try to make a knot on the upside. You can also use some needle or whatever material to, how do you say this, to close it up. And the material that is here inside, you can now knot and fill it with the pants. So that way you have perhaps a carrier bag if you have longer jeans, because this is actually pants that are way too small for me. These were still from when I was a child that I found for examples. But the thing is, if you have a way to close this off, perhaps it's handier with a belt that you can close this off. Whenever this is closed off with some rope, or you make a knot like this, you can put it around you, and that way not close this off. And these are like a bandolier that you can fill with smaller things and carry it around your body, or like a fanny pack. That's a way that you can do this, but like I said, I have not tried this out, but with some imagination I can assure you will improvise something. You can use it as a water filter, because if you have this kind of material and you turn it into several layers, put it inside of a bottle, let water drip in through it, and that way the water is filtered. I say filtered, not clean and not purified, but you can get mud, sand, or other particles outside of it if you use this as an improvised water filter. Another thing that I heard was that you can use the rivets, if you perhaps can see, you can use the rivets to strike and make a fire. But I cannot do this. Why I cannot do this? Because I only have 3 jeans in my arsenal, so to say, and all of them have these. These are, if you perhaps can see, these are more brass rivets. So that's not really good to make a fire. But if these were metal, perhaps it would work, but I don't have one of those at me. So if you can manage it to test it out, let me know the results in the comments. But it's just one of the ways that you can think outside of the box in a survival situation. Right, and next thing is make a saw from the zipper. These are buttons. These are buttons. But these old jeans, I tested it out a little bit, has a zipper. So what you can do with this, I already tested it out a little bit. to see, and it kind of works, but you have to do it with smaller sticks. So where is it? What you can do is you take the zipper, put it around the place where you want to sew, but you have to see how you do it, because you have to be very careful to not get them too much. And as you can see, there is already some material gone. It's possible, but I would say only as a last ditch attempt, I would say it would be handy to sacrifice this, but hey, surviving is all about ideas. And testing out some ideas is the way that we learn things. Excuse me, sir. Alright, an improvised dust mask. So I know when there is a building imploding, a fire, smoke, sandstorm, whatever, what you can do is take your pants off. You might look ridiculous, but it help you to protect your lungs. Take your pipes and put it at your mouth. To protect your breathing. It is a very dense material, but you can breathe through it. Although a little bit difficult, but it is possible to do it and to protect your lungs, because you might walk around in a disaster without your pants, but it's a very dense material. It will protect your lungs from dust, sand, perhaps some effects of smoke, but you will live for much longer than certain people with lung problems that you will develop from it. Alright, another thing is an improvised rifle sling. So you have a rifle, you broke your sling, or you found a rifle and it does not have a sling and you don't always have to want to carry it. You can just tie this on the buttstock, tie this to the front, and use it to make an improvised rifle sling that way. That's also a possibility. It will not be the most handy rifle sling, but you have your hands free while carrying a rifle. And yeah. Next thing is a sling for a broken arm. We all know from the first aid classes that you can make an improvised sling. If you have broken your arm, sling like this. And the thing is, because this is more wide, put it around your arm, and that way you have an improvised sling to stabilize your arm, that it will not get more fractured than it already is. So it's already a handy thing. And another thing I want to show you, because I tested this out, is to see how flame resistant jeans pants are. You can perhaps see I already tried it out, and I wanted to test how it looks, and I will show you. I don't know if you can see this, but there is a small flame around this. I think you can see it, perhaps this way, and it went already out. But the part is, you can see, it's still smoldering. It has problems with smoldering, and it's out, even to a blue, much oxygen inside of it. So that's another benefit. In contrary to modern pants with synthetic materials, if you sit close to a campfire to warm you up, there is chance that with modern synthetic materials it will start to melt, or it will get holes when some of the sparks fly with the wind onto your clothing and burn a hole inside of it. Like with wool, denim has the same property like you saw, that it's a little bit flame resistant. So you can sit closer to a fire without the risk of melting or burning holes into your clothing that easily. So that's another thing that this is handy for. Although, like I said, in winter, it's a little bit more risky of it. Alright, another thing you can do this, of course, making shark cloth. If you find some jeans that somebody left out, the thing is, you can put it into a side of a metal box, with a small hole in it, put it on the stop of fire, and the material of the cotton will turn into charcoal that you can use later on for easy making fire with a spark. But like I said, it's easier to just rub with a knife and get lint that way to start a fire. So it's about personal protection. Other reason why the Navy SEALs in Vietnam used denim jeans was because there were less likely chance that mosquitoes could because it's such a dense material, mosquitoes were less likely to stick through the pants. And with other clothing, I have seen this myself. Like my brother, he wears mostly synthetic materials, and mosquitoes stuck right through his pants. Even one of those horseflies right through his pants, and he got stung. But with mosquitoes, in Vietnam they did not got stuck on those places, so it was more like protection against ticks because they do not stick about it. Mosquitoes, horseflies, that kind of stuff. That is handy. Another thing is, if you have jeans, it's easier to wash. If it's full of mud, it will less likely be stick to it, and it's easier to wash for long-term survival scenarios, like the gold miners in America around half of the 19th century. So that's also very handy for long durable material, and it's a little bit protection. Like when you see one of those, how do you say this, those bikers, they usually wear very thick denim jeans. That's because when they fall and they slide over the asphalt, there is more protection than regular pants that most people wear. So a thick pair of jeans will protect you against not only sliding from of a bike, but also from if you walk through the forest, and small branches or thorns are less likely to cut you because there is some material protecting your skin. So that's also a very good thing. All right, I think it's time for the last one, because it is something that I really did not believe, and I'm going to try this out now, because the thing that they say is that I saw for when I searched for survival uses for jeans, the one thing that almost all sources says was you can use it as a flotation device when you're going overboard into the water or the sea. And what they say is you have to knot the pipes out down. So we're going to the pipe up to knot the other pipe down, so that it should be, there we go. And what we will try now is we're going to make this soaking wet and try to blow air inside of it and see how well it will stand up. And that's the reason why you should not wear jeans with all these holes inside of it like the young people do now these days. So let's make this wet and see how this will work. There we go. So they're soaking wet. Let's try to blow some air inside of it and see. The thing is, they say if you're in the water, you should grab the open side and catch air and use it as a flotation device to hold on. Let's see if I can blow it up. It can keep air. Nah. Perhaps it's because of the certain material these pants are made of, but I can just squeeze the air right out of it. So, depending on the materials, there are no holes inside of these pants that I checked, and it's just normal denim material. So these are just standard jeans pants, and I can just feel the air just floating out everywhere when I blow inside of it, when I squeeze the little pockets that were inside of it. So it does not work. It's kind of bullshit. Perhaps the pants from earlier were perhaps treated with some chemicals to make them waterproof, and that's the way. That's perhaps the reason why you used to could trap some air inside of it, but with regular jeans, it seems not to work from this experiment. So I'm going to call this very. I'm going to be very skeptical about this. So now you see it yourself that it's not really that good. Let me know if it's because of other factors, like I said, water resistant treatment onto the pants, or perhaps the thickness of the denim material, or perhaps something like that. But it does not seem to work. So if you got any other survival tips for using for denim jeans, please let me know in the comments and your experience with it. I'm always eager to learn. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and see you next video. Cheers!